Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gamers, geeks, and Nigel. It's this week's Gaming Facepunch Gaming Roundup, fresh off the back of the EA Play event, which I kind of watched. I kind of found myself scrolling through bits on it, I'll be frank with you. But we've got some interesting news and stuff for you. So, Nige, I'd just like to start all these gaming podcasts on what you've been playing.
Since we last spoke,
Yeah.
Not much, actually. I haven't had a chance, which is a shame.
Oh, dear.
It's a shame. I'm planning on my next game that I want to play. I might play Little Nightmares. I think that's free on Game Pass.
Ah, okay.
I like the look of that.
I've been playing Horizon Zero Dawn because I didn't play the expansion. I was planning on getting it. Didn't get it. It's free as part of the old game collection on there, so I'm just working my way through that as fast as I can. So just like going through a conversation, it's like kind of, do you want to know about my family? No, I'd like to go on to the next mission. Thanks.
How was your day? Oh, I need to kill more monsters.
Move on. I've got things to kill. It's like, it's annoying because part of it is journeying and picking up crap. So you've got resources to like for making arrows and crap on the route. But apart from that, I've been playing that and a bit of Apex Legends. Is a little frustrating for that. But let's get into our first news. Right, we keep hearing this expression, Netflix of gaming. Sony are going to be the Netflix of gaming by teaming up with Netflix. I haven't read this article. You sent it to me to read, and I'll be honest with you, I didn't read it. So Netflix plans to expand into gaming next year. Now, Netflix's subscriptions dropped off tons recently. I've heard rumors and this, that, and the other. Rumors suggest partnership with Sony to bring games to their service. And we have this image, which I'm seeing on all the articles, and I have no idea if it's from a tweet, from any kind of legitimate post or anything. Anyway.
Well, that image, I think, was actually in an app from a Netflix app. And obviously, those are PlayStation controllers. So people are probably putting two and two together. Yes,
I imagine that's quite logical. Right, anyway. Netflix is planning to introduce games to its movie and TV streaming service next year, according to a report by Bloomberg. I'd just like to point out that I think we had a report by Bloomberg of the Switch Pro coming out. Now we've got lots of hits on that video. That was great, but it wasn't true. Why deliberations are not being made in public right now. Images found by Twitter user Idle Sloth 84 within an iOS app code suggests there may even be a partnership with Sony to bring their games to the service. Now I find it a bit weird because being a nerd, I know that Sony's services are run off the back of Microsoft Azure cloud services, and I know that Netflix services are run off the back of Amazon AWS services. That's incredibly boring. That's the kind of person I am. That's the kind of things I know. Might have something to do with I have a big investment on these kind of big
fun at parties,
platforms.
Guys. He is fun.
Oh man, I'm so fun at parties. Despite adding games to Netflix, inside sources state the company will not be increasing the price for its account for the extra content. The games will instead appear as a new programming genre similar to documentaries, stand-up specials categories. The current aim is to introduce gaming to the service within the next year, although deliberations are still ongoing. Right. Okay. I don't think streaming games work.
No, I agree.
The best two streaming things are Microsoft's xCloud thing that they do, and I barely use that. And then there is the Shadow app where you get online gaming PC. You still get latency, you still get stutters, you never get a perfect internet connection. That's where the problem lies. And while you've got that, you can never do this. And every time you increase a game and the complexity of a game, it gets harder for the computers to run it, so you're going to need more server power. There are games out there that can chew through. There was the joke, can it run Crysis? Yeah. Right. There's a Cray 2 computer that cracked the Enigma decoding system. Can it run Crysis? I don't think it can run Crysis. It can break an arcane coding system from World War II, but it can't run Crysis. It's funny because apparently No, it was Deep Blue. Sorry, I was going to say apparently Deep Blue, which beat Gary Kasparov for on playing chess,
the chess yeah.
is a booking agent for American Airlines. I'm not joking. They took the computer core and used it for that. It's probably been replaced by now. So yes,
I can't see this working. Yeah, streaming movies and TV series, great. But to stream a game, you need so much more data coming down the pipe. So much more data it's going to take up. And yes, there still will be latency. Unless, of course, they say it'll be on a device that has capability to download and install certain files that you need. So, for example, I can watch Netflix if I want on my Sky Q box. I really doubt that I would be able to play a game on my Sky Q box just because I've got Netflix.
Yeah,
doubt it. Like they're going to have to narrow it right down to what devices are capable of doing it. And in order to do so, I think they're going to have to download at least partial of the game.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're going to get latency issues. And so can you imagine playing a game without the actual controller for the game?
Well, no, because they probably have the controller. Because at the moment you can pretty much pair a PlayStation controller with anything since the PS4, and Microsoft have done the same thing too. So I can pair my gamepad there for my S series. I can pair it with what do you call it, an iPad. I've paired up my PS4 controller with my thingy. So you should be able to pair your controller up. So I imagine that's the thing, but. The only good thing that came out of Stadia was the fact that the controller linked straight to the internet. Now, Luna, which is Amazon's version of it, does the same. My money says it's not Sony. My money says it's going to be Amazon Luna. Now I think about it, that's a really fucking dumb thing to say because Amazon are competing with them with the Prime market, so they'll have their own thing. That might be why they're teaming up with Sony's with their old Gaikai thing. So
Gaikai, yeah,
which is what was originally the Sony Now thing. I don't think streaming works for games. I think you might be able to do it for like not very good games. How can I say it? Yeah, not very good games.
Not very data intensive games. You know, not big games. Definitely not a Warzone thing. That's for sure. Probably not a COD thing.
Yeah, I don't think it's Twitch games. Those sort of Apex and Warzone and Fortnite. I don't like Fortnite. You still those ones are bad as it is. Right. Let's move on to our next story, which is about a diet. Right. A lighter PS5 redesign is coming, according to Japanese retail list. Sony's big boy just lost some weight. Now, I always tell the story when it comes to game design and console design. The Xbox engineers, when they put the Xbox together, looked back at the Sony PlayStation 1 and they were like, how the hell have these guys done it? Because they looked at it and they went, the first Sony PlayStation had like 120 something chips in it. The next one had 60 something chips in it. One next to it had 30 chips in it. And the last version that they did had one chip in it. Because Sony are great when it comes to that kind of electronic engineering sort of thing. That's their strength. So, given that there are chip shortages now, consolidating your unit down and having the least amount of chips is probably a good thing. So, I imagine that they've probably gone back, reviewed the PS5 hardware and gone, right, what can we... There must be a new chip that will now do this. There must be a new chip that will now get rid of these 5 chips, so forth and so on. As I said, I'm an incredibly boring person. So these things fit. Just to read something from the article, so PS5 digital edition will be lighter because they're talking about the digital edition to come with easy to use thumb screws to attach the console to the stand. Okay, that wasn't a big thing. The new listing is listed as CF1 1100 CFI. Oh, all right, CFI 1100B. God, what a name.
That's catchy.
Knocks a whopping 300 grams off of the system's weight, which would fit with less chips, less board, less copper, because there's a lot of copper in that. There's a ton of copper in the PS5.
To be fair, it's a bit lighter, but they're keeping the same size, so the size is not going to change.
Yeah, I imagine if you got all the molds. I would prefer them to shrink it down a little, but the reason they're probably keeping the size is the heat dissipation.
Yeah, absolutely.
More chips, still more. Seems same. It's probably the same amount of heat.
Same amount of heat needs to get pushed out. They've got a bit more space in there. They have more space in there, so it should keep cooler. If it is lighter and less chips, they'll have a bit more space. Not as much heat. Should be running even smoother, right?
Oh yeah, it should. I don't know if it causes any conflicts. It shouldn't. They usually, as I said, that's their strength. Out of all the games companies, that's their strength is through their hardware.
Yeah.
Like Nintendo's is through family appeal, and Microsoft, believe it or not, should be through the development software. That's one of the reasons that Sony teamed up with the Unreal Engine people and bought shares in them so that they could have priority, because they're weakest probably in the software development area. And lots of people, especially when PS3 came out, bitched and moaned that it was the most difficult thing to program for ever.
Oh,
understand. Yeah.
That was like some weird shit going on there for the PS3. It was like so left field. It was so difficult to all the other ones. They were easy to program for, apparently. PS2, PS1, and then you got the Xbox 360, all easy to program. PS3, nah. But still good games.
Yeah, still good games. Still managed to get a lot of things out when they got the certain expertise behind it. They managed to rinse it for the power that it was quite capable of. And you'll find that thing with with like the GPUs now, because the GPUs are now set up like the PS3 cell chip was set up, so it's all parallel computing. It's one of the reasons they like it for cryptocurrency, which I hate, because that's with bollocks up the graphics card market, and now you're getting PCs without graphics cards, which is not good at all. Right.
Yeah.
I've got another one for you. Valve look like they're trying to take on the Nintendo Switch, because Nintendo Switch is the handheld at the moment. So Valve looked at it and went, we can do that. So they've come up with what they refer to as the Valve Steam Deck. It's a handheld one. It looks massive. And it looks like it gets really hot. But as a piece of hardware, I think it might work. Microsoft won't make a handheld Xbox, so Valve done it themselves. The Steam Deck has potential to fire up the fledgling category in the handheld PC gamer market, not for just for enthusiasts. I should really use the fucking old man vision when I'm reading these articles, because the last ones were fine. 125% I can read them. 100% I struggle. The Ultra Mobile PC, UMPC, aren't a new concept. I've seen quite a few of these. Most people use these for emulation. So they get like a copy of Windows on it, and they put on RetroArch, I think it is, and they run it for emulation. So
RetroArch, that's the one.
Yeah, so it's good. It's a bit weird, because I always think of PCs for PC gamers having big cases, massive case. I don't know why. In my head, it's always massive case with like 4 fans just blaring out like a jet engine.
Yeah.
Even if they've got water cool, it's still bloody noisy. But they're like, I got 14 extra frames, and you're getting on your PS5, mate. And I'm like, all right, it makes all the difference. Does it? I can't hear what's going on. Sorry to make out the PC gamers, but you love your frame rates.
I'm one. There is a. Well, to be fair, I used to be one. I like consoles as well, so I'll be an intermediary. I think they really, really do love playing at the very max settings.
Yeah.
And the max FPS of everything. And that's like what they strive for, with the fastest hard drive, fastest graphics card, fastest mem. But that's them. And let them be them.
I find it a little weird because I was gonna get back into PC gaming, and then I looked at the price of graphics card and I went, nah, fuck that. I can actually get a PS5.
Yeah,
I can actually get my hands on a PS5 for £100 more. I'm gonna get a PS5. Sorry guys, bye. Because I was thinking about getting the chip and everything, and I was thinking, oh yeah, I should really, up my game and all that. And then, yeah, no. It's annoying. I think it's not. The thing is, it is not PC gamers that are screwing up the graphics card market. It's the crypto miners that are doing it.
Yeah, it is.
Apparently, we're talking about crypto mining, right? Yeah. So these people set up all these massive Bitcoin mining farms or Ethereum or whatever. Yeah. But apparently, some guys in the Ukraine had like 3,400 PS4s, and they were mining FIFA 21.
FIFA. But,
yes.
And the initial thing was they thought they were They were mining Bitcoin or crypto.
Turns out, because the power draining. Yeah,
and that's why they got caught, because they were illegally draining power, and they got caught and it was FIFA Ultimate Team that they were farming.
Do you know how much money they made?
No clue.
About 70 million euros. Off of FIFA.
Pay your bill, surely.
I would have paid the electricity bills and got the authorities off my back, so I could get another 70 million. Bloody hell!
Jesus, the bill wouldn't have been out of the 70 mil. Jesus. Now, I bet they're sitting there going, Georgioff, why didn't you pay the bill? Oh, I thought you were doing it. No, you were doing it. No. Dickhead. Anyway, we're digressing, but
we're digressing. Let's get back to the Stream Deck. The thing's powered by Linux, and it uses a special thing on it to convert Windows games using a thing called Proton or something along those lines into Linux games, so you can play on the device. Which means you're going to have compatibility issues.
Well, yes, I think if you have one of these, they'll obviously link your Steam account. So all the games you've got on your Steam account, you'll be able to play on the Steam Deck. And I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will say if it's compatible or not. They must do.
Yeah. I'm sure that they'll figure it out. I'm sure they won't release it and then forget about it like they did with the Steam boxes. I'm sure they won't do that.
No, because the Steam boxes was more of a thing where loads of different companies were allowed to call their box a Steam box and had varying degrees of specs and cases, and it all looked different and stuff. This is different because it is one spec. Well, actually three, because you've got different hard drives, but it is one design, one overall spec apart from hard drive, and that is
three specs actually. But I think you're right.
Drives, right?
Yeah, but they say the bigger the hard drive you get, the better it runs. Naturally, the more money you pay, the better it runs.
Of course. Yeah. But I'm sort of intrigued by it. They've got the weird haptic type controllers either side, and then the normal type as well. Yeah. It looks intriguing. Apparently, people are saying people who've had their hands on it have said that it runs really well on the games that they've tried.
It's really hot.
Can you imagine? And I think they're planning to bring out an actual deck for you to put it in, a bit dock. Like the Switch. Yeah.
So you get a dock. Yeah.
It's going to be like the Switch. And then you can put it into your TV or your monitor or whatever.
Yeah. That's the kind of interesting thing. What else was I going to say about it?
It is, to be fair, intriguing, but it is expensive.
Yeah, it is. Oh, that was it. Yeah, great thing that Steam did. They stopped scalpers on eBay almost immediately.
I saw the other day that people, although you can put your pre-order down for $5, I think it was, you were finding a few days later, because people had put their thing down, they were on eBay for $5,000. And we got, mate.
Yeah. They got eBay. No, got eBay to take all those listings down. Fantastic. Good. I like that. Anyway, EA had the EA Play event, which was today, which you didn't watch, Nige.
Ah,
but I watched it.
Should we bump?
Let's bump. Right, so EA had their plaything. You didn't watch it. I watched it, and I jogged my microphone like a poor person. Right, so yeah, I watched it, and it was okay. I can understand why they skipped E3 this year. Last time we were on, sorry, I did the Sony State of Play event, expecting to see something cool, and nothing happened. So my expectations for this were very low because of Sony. But they had some interesting things. So I'm going to show you now. I'm hoping it's got no music on it. They have this thing they've called crikey. They call Battlefield Portal. Now, what the idea of Battlefield Portal is users get to make and create their own custom games.
Okay.
With anything from the Battlefield series, with the exception of Battlefield 2142. So you can't have the giant walking mechs. So you can create mad games in there. So remember when there was the mods on like Half-Life, Counter-Strike, yeah? And they had it so you only had knives and you had like 30 terrorists.
Yeah.
And you'd have to kill terrorists. It turned into like zombies and mods and stuff like that. They're doing stuff like this. So you've got like World War II versus modern era, but World War II has more numbers, so you can have the Germans versus the US military. I always hated that. I never did that in Battlefield. I always thought that was a bit gauche. But you've got all these things here, so they came up with like all these little games that you can put together yourself. I don't think that's fair having a Russian stealth fighter. I don't know I have no idea how the Spitfire's keeping up with it. More importantly. Jet engine capable of what? Super cruising, Mach 2 versus Spitfire.
I know how.
So here, look, here's an example of what they've done here. So it's Germans with knives and Marines with paddles.
Oh,
so they want it so you create your own games, and I think they're going to look at it and they'll steal the most popular mod.
Yeah, naturally. And a popular mode in Counter-Strike was snipers with pistols only, or sometimes just pistols only. Obviously, there's varying pistols and varying snipers, but there's a game mode, or like you said, knife only. It's interesting to see that they're doing this. Like,
the other cool thing. Sorry, they brought back the old maps. So things like El Alamein from Battlefield 1942, the really huge map. Yeah, they've brought those back. And I think that was from Battlefield 2, that big smokestack thing.
This stack rings a bell.
It's from Battlefield 2, I'm sure.
I think it's it could be Battlefield 3 or 4. I think one of the maps had a bit of an airfield, but it had this massive tower, and you could basically jump out of a plane or whatever and get yourself on there and just snipe people. So, interesting to see that. It's a nice little twist on what they normally do, because it's usually just, here's a map, go fight, lads.
But now that they're going to the point that they want to let you create games and game modes, so you could have it. So, like, there's a great game called Time Splitters, and the multiplayer in it had some really good things in it. Like, they had like an anti-camper thing. So if you stopped moving, you'd lose health.
Oh, okay.
It was a great idea, brilliant idea. It was just like kind of stop moving, boom, boom, boom. If you want, and then there was Vampire, where you have to shoot as many people in order to stay alive to keep your health up.
Oh, okay. So really, when you hit someone, you get life back.
Yes. And they were great ideas, and not many of them made it across into mainstream games. But like the anti-camper one, I'm sure people would be well happy with it. You know, the floor is lava sort of thing.
Yeah. I like that.
I know, because many people are very anti-camper. So what we got here, we've got they got some bits here where they're talking about it, and then this is the portal mode.
You see, he knows what he's talking about because he's got a beard.
Yes, apart from this WWE wrestler that they've got doing it, who was good presenter. I will admit he was a good presenter, but clearly there was stuff that he had no clue about. But he was trying, dude. He was much better than some of the losers that you saw on the E3 presentations. So it was entertaining. They're going to show some more stuff off later. They got a proper what do you call it? A proper kind of trailer coming out for some of these bits here.
Yeah.
So you got some of the.
I am intrigued.
It's the first time I've been interested in a Battlefield game for a long while. I think Battlefield 3 was the last one. I like Bad Company. I love Bad Company. Bad Company was fun.
Bad Company was good. I typically, I know a lot of people buy Battlefield games for the multiplayer because it's literally used to be. I think Battlefield 2 didn't have any, but didn't have any campaign. But I quite like the campaigns that they started putting into the games. They weren't initially in there, but it was all multiplayer, and I love the multiplayer. But I do like the campaigns as well. When they started putting those campaigns in, they were actually fairly decent. They're not quite COD standard, because COD is usually, what it was about was the multiplayer, but they had a decent single-player campaign as well. Yeah, and I like that. So interesting to, do you want to address this?
Sorry, I just it's okay. Sorry, Martin Owen. I'm going to say I'm more interested by Linux Garuda OS and the way Linux gaming has come on. I'm annoyed because Linux gaming should be a lot further bloody forward than it is. I thought that when this is the thing with the Steambox, when the Steambox came out, I thought that it was going to push Linux gaming to start to draw level with Windows gaming. And more people would then start looking at it and go, it's a little bit difficult, but we get the money. Let's get the money. Yeah, that sort of thing. It's a weird one. Hopefully it'll get better. It's Garuda makes me think of Ace Combat, Garuda 1. Because I'm a nerd like that. As I said, the most interesting person at parties. But yeah, that was the thing. I was expecting Steam to push Linux because I was expecting you were going to get Steam OS that you could just load straight onto your PC with no worries or anything like that, and everything would be fine. And hopefully, maybe the handheld thing, going back to the Steam Deck, will push this along. Maybe it'll push it along. I'm hoping it will, because even if you got this Proton thing they talk about, which will convert Windows games to run on Linux, then you could have Linux. Because one of the things that put me off PC gaming was I have lots of dealings with Microsoft in other ways, and it's not as, how can I put it? It's not fun dealing with them. I'll be honest with you.
So there you go. Steam has Proton. You can install Windows games.
I need to know more. I'm going to have to do a bit more research into this.
What would be great if Steam actually bring out? Well, I think there is a Steam OS, but if you were able to use that as the be all and end all on your computer, you don't need Windows, for example. That'd be good. And then you just have Proton installed, and then play all your Windows games through Proton. If you simply use it as, or if you play all your games through Steam and buy all your games through Steam, that's not a bad idea. But there are so many different launchers now.
Yeah, there's going to be compatibility issues, and there's the I don't know, because I remember having Linux because I had SUSE ages back in the early 2000s, and I loved that. I didn't use it for anything heavy. I used the Windows part of the computer, which I'd play Windows games on, and then I had the Zeus bit, which I used to sail high seas on. And it was great though, because you download your MP3s, it would find the file name, find the track list, put it all together in an album, go to Amazon of all places, download the cover art, and pop it into the Windows Player. It was fantastic. Now I'm a grown up, I could buy these things or lease them via Spotify. That was good, but I need to have a look into this Proton thing. So I haven't got a machine.
Definitely a good idea.
Yeah,
I like the idea of it. I do like the idea of the Steam Deck. For sure.
But yeah, I just think it's going to be roasting hot. You're going to get it. You're going to get one of those games you really love. You're going to play it, and then you're just going to burn your bloody thigh or leg on the damn thing. But you'll do it, and you'll look back, and you'll have that grill mark burnt into your leg, and you'll look at your game, and you go, "It was worth it."
Looks semi tan. Well,
anyway, I don't know if you're interested in Grid. Now, if Malcolm was about, Malcolm would be interested in Grid because they showed off a thing called Grid Legends. But try Grid or okay, cool. I need to get a machine. I'll see if I can get a cheapo machine. See if I can just load that up.
Get Grid OS.
Yeah,
give it a try.
Anyway, sorry, going back to the thingy. Grid. Yeah, Grid. They showed a thing called Grid Legends. It looks like remember that was the FIFA career mode or whatever it was.
Be a pro.
Be a pro. That's it. Thank you. Be a pro mode on FIFA, and then I think they had a similar thing on Need for Speed. Anyway, they've got something like this on Codemasters Grid Legends. It's called. And they showed that off. I didn't think you'd be as interested in that as this next thing because this next thing's much more interesting. You probably won't think it is, but I think it is. Anyway, without further ado, let's get on into our next one. What one then? So,
I see why now.
All right, okay. We talked right before we show the trailer. I haven't watched the trailer. Okay. I have not seen the trailer. I saved this now. Right, let's have a recap because I made a prediction that Dead Space would be open world as I described it. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be open world. It's going to be open world or a lazy remake where they've just upscaled everything. I think it's going to be upscaled everything. I want Dead Space to be a bit more oomph in it. But hey, let's have a look. We need sound for this. Just like pointing out, Dead Space came out in 2007. Fucking loved it.
It's quite old for a game, really, if you think about it. Is it on 60 FPS?
No, it's flickering. It's genuinely flickering. I've got it tapped down because I know that StreamYard doesn't like it when I share.
Doesn't, does it? It is quite eerie.
It's supposed to be eerie.
Oh, I do like the health on the back.
That was one thing. And that's all they gave. That's all they gave us. Oh, I was hoping for so much more. They're using the Frostbite engine. Lighting looks great.
It's moody.
My gut says this will be more like a Capcom remake than the thing. Just by seeing that, they look like they're putting it through a whole new engine rather than I think it was the Unreal engine, which they put it through. So they put it through the Frostbite engine. Whether they'll flesh it out and just extend a few more things into it, I don't know. I love Dead Space. That first Dead Space was like the first Fear. I love those two games. The second Fear, first Fear, I wouldn't turn the lights off when I was playing it, and the second Fear, I had to turn the lights off just to get slightly scared. Dead Space was like having a panic attack playing that game. So many bits. The first bit where you come in. And they're like, kind of, Isaac, do you want to pop into the room over there where we think it will be safe? And you're like, no, I'm not going there on my own. And then you go, all right, I'll go there on my own. And you go on their own and you start fiddling around the controls. And all of a sudden, one of the necromorphs drops to the ceiling, kills one of the other guys, and the others fuck off and scarper. And then you're then left, you're like, crap. So you run and you're trying to escape this necromorph until you get to an elevator. And you get to the elevator, the door shuts, and you're like, oh, thank fuck, I'm safe. And then all of a sudden, the arms come through the thing and try pricing the door open. And then the elevator door, because it's really doesn't really comply to health and safety standards, crushes the necromorph in the door.
Saves your really bacon.
Saves your bacon by a door. absolutely.
And also the fact that when you figure out that actually shooting them in the torso and stuff like that, you've got to shoot their limbs off, and you can turn the gun.
Oh yes, you get to do that. It was one of those ones that you play, and it's like you cut the limbs off, and then you got through a habit of just stamping on everybody that you find.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if it's a human or a necromorph. The big boot of justice falls down and crushes it. Just to be on the safe side. Second one, I love this bit. I always mention this. The second one where you get caught by these what do you call them? Unitologists, not Scientologists, just in case anyone's wondering for legal reasons. Unitologists, yeah, and you've got your vac suit on, and then you get attacked by like the military, and they destroy the window because you've got a vac suit on. Your vac suit seals up, protects you. You get blown out, they get blown out and die, and you're like, I love it. I enjoyed that so much. Good game. Third one, I know Baxter says it's not as bad as you think. It just wasn't as scary. And then you got to the end, and it was like that it could have been made so much better. And there's rumors that they were looking to Uncharted as an example of a good game, and it was like, no, you were fine on your own. Don't look at Uncharted. You horror game. You do horror things. Uncharted action game that does action things. Don't get the two confused. And I hate that when developers start doing that, and it's like kind of. Someone makes a game and it goes, it needs to be. It was like when Gears of War came out, it needed to be like Gears of War. And it was like kind of, but Gears of War's like Gears of War. We need to be something different.
Gears of War should be like Gears of War.
Yes,
it
should be.
It was good. It was good. Why take inspiration from some other genre?
Yes. Anyway, I think we're done with the news for this week. It's been great talking to you, Nige. Hopefully I'll see you again in person sometime soon.
Hopefully so.
Yes, hopefully soon. And I'll lend you that copy of Coupling because it's hilarious and you need to watch it.
I really, really do. Maybe when I'm next over, we'll just crack open a Coupling.
Yes. And on that note, I'm going to leave now because I am melting here. It's as hot as balls in the UK at the moment. And we're not a country that indulges in air conditioning because we would only use it 4 weeks of an entire year, so it's not worth the expenditure. So we have 4 weeks of discomfort. Going, core, it's as hot as balls. I'm melting like Frosty the bloody snowman in a sauna. But on that note, it's goodbye from me.
It's goodbye from me, and thank you for watching. And if you do fancy following us on any social media, just look us up. Actually, if you're on Facebook, we're Gaming Face Punch and Monkey Nut Punch, and the same again on YouTube, and you can find us on Twitter, Monkey Nut Punch, and Instagram. Monkey Nut Punch.
Most of our effort goes into Instagram because it's not as toxic as Twitter, and it's not as suppressive as Facebook. Even though it is a Facebook company.
Yeah.
But on that note, it's a goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
And we'll catch you in the next Gaming Roundup.
See you later.